This is what the New York Times said about Nancy Pelosi in that article. It said at first there was a threat of being an imposter that may have been in his mind. The bigger problem, the thing people need to understand, is that he was utterly unprepared for this. It would be like if you or me going into a room and being asked to perform brain surgery when you have a lack of knowledge as great as his. It can be bewildering. The assumption there is, would they have written an article like that about a community organizer or a lawyer, a state senator who became president?
That's shameful. Nancy Pelosi is a stooge. And when you say something like that, that is so beneath the office that she holds, for sheer political purposes, to try and pile on the narrative of the fake news divisions of the New York Times and others, it's just preposterous. And it's one of the reasons why Donald Trump got elected in the first place. He is not a career politician. He is a change agent that came to Washington to fix Nancy Pelosi's broken status quo, if you will. And so under Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama, the stagnant economy, 1.2, 1.4% growth. And under President Trump, you have 3.3, over 3% for the last 2 quarters. You have an economy that is expanding in droves. Jobs numbers like we've never seen, 2.2 million new jobs just in the last year alone. And a vibrant economy through his sheer force of his will on one hand and his deregulatory pen in the other. And now we have tax reform that is very close, getting to the president's desk, hopefully within days, if not a week or so. And then we're going to have that boost to our economy that we need. That's what this president's about. He doesn't care what Nancy Pelosi thinks.
Let me ask you this, though, Dave. Yeah. So when you're talking about the economy, certainly everybody is thrilled that American economy is doing so well. It's certainly thriving. Most everybody can see that with their investments, their portfolios, their 401ks. I would submit that President Barack Obama did stabilize a very unfortunate and scary economic picture back in 2008. But either way, what we know is things look good. But things look good right now, right, Dave? But here's my question. Nancy Pelosi, what Pete read there, we expect that of Nancy Pelosi. That's who we know her to be.
Sure.
But when it comes to the New York Times, and when it comes to these institutions that many Americans still look towards to give them some type of balance, some type of fuller picture, what is your statement then, Dave, to the New York Times and these other publications that, in my view, are sacrificing their very credibility just to go after this president, whether right or wrong, actually, on the merits? I'm actually not even going to litigate that. I'm just speaking to the credibility.
All the fake news that's fit to print. That is exactly what the New York Times has become. That's now what the Washington Post did with that photograph. This is just a continuation of this problem. And let me just say one thing back to Barack Obama. He more than doubled our national debt. He went from $10 trillion to $20 trillion in 8 years. It took over 220 years to get to $10 trillion. And I would submit that George Bush didn't help us at all with the bailout at the end there, but with $1 trillion at the end. But that is such a disaster for our economy. It's weighing on us. The only way out of this is Donald Trump's growth.